Alright, so you've just read the title. I made something that tracks my face and maps it to an avatar. Literally just VTubing without the anime. So why would anyone go as far as to make something like this when software like FaceRiver Live2D exists? Well, you see, I've been coding for almost 8 years and I've made tons of cool stuff. Look, I made a video game. And another video game. And another. Oh look, I went and made 20 more video games and almost all of them are platformers. If I'm ever gonna get into a FNAF company, I better make something more trendy and techy. Let's just throw in some machine learning. How about some computer vision as well? It could be interesting if I threw in a popular internet trend too. Oh, it's also gotta have at least 100 node modules. And let's throw in some blockchain for some good measure. Wait, no, never mind, that was for another video. Now we blend it together. And, hello. Yep. Long story short, the primary motive was resume building. Secondarily, I wanted to just have some facial tracking software to use for a variety of random projects and other use cases. I've been streaming game dev since 2015, although I started on Twitch, and most people that do that use their webcams. Personally, I don't find it to be worth it to dox myself when this isn't even my job. I was experimenting with animated avatars as a substitute for webcams all the way back in 2015 when I started, albeit caveman tech, so having a face-tracked avatar while streaming seemed like a good fit, but I wasn't entirely confident I'd be able to make something good enough for that use case. With the goal of improving the diversity of my portfolio, I set out to find some facial tracking software to work off of as a base, because there ain't no way I'm training a face tracking model from the ground up. I had used OpenCV in the past to mess around with computer vision, but getting some good tracking on it is difficult since quality cascades are hard to find. Then I stumbled upon face-api.js. It's got some pretty fast facial landmarking, and the thing that really caught my eye was the emotion detection. Everything was fantastic, except it was a client-side JavaScript API, meaning that it runs in your browser. Not only that, but my preference is to work with Python. So rather than doing the logical thing and just building the rendering into the browser using more JavaScript, I decided to do it the hard way and mix Python and JavaScript. I tried out the example code and it did almost exactly what I needed. So the next step was to somehow get the facial landmark data to Python from the client-side JavaScript so I can do some quick maths on it for rendering. Easy, right? No. First off, you can't just write to a file or send data directly to the Python script. Or maybe you can, but if you can, I wasn't aware of it, so it basically is non-existent. So my initial idea was to just start up a Flask server and have the client-side JavaScript send the data as a request, except you can't do that since browsers don't allow cross-site scripting. You have to communicate with the server running the website to begin with, so I looked into the server's code in the example project. Lucky for me, it was written using the Express JavaScript framework, which I already had some experience with because of my job. So I added another route that can accept data and write it to a file as JSON. Boom, I had real-time data that I could read with a Python script. First, I rendered the landmark data in real time by repeatedly loading the file and drawing dots at all of the points. Next up, I connected all the dots to give the main facial outline. And as an early 2000s kid, I'm legally required to record myself pogging the first chance I get. With the mandatory pogging out of the way, I could get to the good part, maths. If I were a normal computer science channel, I'd spend the next 15 minutes explaining how the math works, but I just kinda threw some random formulas that popped into my head at the wall to see what would stick. The points in the facial landmark may look 3D, but I'm only given them in 2D space, so I have to do some magics to get some sort of rotational estimations from it. If I were willing to put in the effort, I could probably reverse the projections using some trig to get 3D positions, but I'm a bit lazy, so I just went with the throwing math at the wall to see what sticks strategy. I've got the eye distance calculator, which uses your everyday middle school math to find out how far apart the eyes are in pixels. This is later used to scale everything else so that all other distances can be measured proportionally. Now, by finding the angle between the tops of the eyes using a good old arctangent, I can find out a rough estimation of the rotation on the z-axis. This is like tilting your head right and left. With scale and z rotation out of the way, I just had x and y rotation. If you look carefully, when I rotate my head on the y-axis, one eyebrow gets shorter and the other gets longer. I used this difference in the eyebrow lengths to get a rough estimate of y rotation. and this time there's no trig, so the scaling gets wonky if you get out of the intended range. That's fine though, since the tracking stops working after I turn my head too far. So all that was left was the X rotation, which is up and down. For this one, I used the tip of my nose relative to the bottom base of my nose. If you look closely, the spacing between the 2 points shrinks as I tilt my head down and grows as I tilt my head up. I linearly mapped this to the X rotation, which is super inaccurate since the scaling of that line is not linear, but it was close enough for my use case. With rotational and scale data, it was time to start mapping that to an avatar, but to do that, I needed either a 3D renderer or some kind of pseudo 3D renderer. So just grab a 3D framework and render an object with the information I've gathered, right? Nope, that's no fun. Instead, I opted to just write my own using questionable projection methods that I came up with years ago. It just takes a point's position in 3D space, calculates the angle to the camera with some arctangents, and maps the points to 2D space based on the angles. This probably ain't how you're supposed to write a 3D renderer, but it works and that's good enough for me. With that out of the way, I connected some lines and boom. I had a simple cube mapped to my face. That's just wireframe though. I need something that could do polygons with better support and rotation. So I wrote a bunch of functions for manipulating the points in 3D space and set up rendering to just draw polygons based on outlines of points after projection. I started with X rotation and motion, then Y, then Z, and finally I had rotations on the X, Y, and Z axes. All that was left was to build the face. You know that flying trapezoid you've been looking at for the past 15 seconds? Yeah, that was my chin. I just kept throwing in more point sets until I had something that looked alive. Although it only looked alive because it looked like I wanted to attack something. Anyways, I added motion tracking in 3D space using the scale I previously calculated for the Z axis. The X and Y axis are already provided since the facial landmarks were in 2D. While I was at it, I added some rotational smoothing by just averaging previous samples. And with that, I had a somewhat working avatar. And one of the most important parts was up next. The mouth tracking. This is one of the parts I felt like face-api was very good for since the frame rate was so high. I just mapped the mouth landmark distances to the 4-point polygon for the mouth, and I was ready to go. The only issue here is that I mumble like mad and my lips typically don't move a whole lot when I'm speaking. Because of this, I'm considering audio input based mapping in the future, but the future ain't today, and today my schedule is full of lazy. With the mouth out of the way, I went and did the finishing touches. Those being cloth simulation for those hanging red things. I ain't got a clue what they are, so don't ask me. Go and ask Lou Verlet. I also added some ear things and some particles. But wait, there's more. Remember how face-api has motion tracking? I ended up throwing in some different eye polygons for disgusted, happy, and neutral emotions, depending on what face-api detected. You might be wondering though, what about the angry and sad emotions? Well, short answer, I don't have those, and long answer, I don't have those. So here's the final result.
Why, hello there, good sir. Might I interest you in a cup of...
I could steal